Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about Saturn conjunct the South Node in a natal horoscope. As most of you know, the South Node is associated with what we generally will emphasize or accentuate very strongly in the first part of our lives, its overdeveloped qualities. And though we hit around age 30, it becomes kind of a redundant or monotonous kind of thing, and we said, well, been there, done that. And then we focus more on the North Node placement. So this could indicate that when we do this, we generally divert to the North Node, and while not necessarily eradicating the South Node energy completely, but merely integrating it at least somewhat with the North Node energy. Now, you look at the Saturn is connected with restriction, responsibility, authority. It's associated with the father, and we also, Saturn is connected with perseverance. It has to do, I guess, as I stated, with the limitation, with restriction. And it's very orthodox and pragmatic. It's a very, you look at Saturn as being like the conservative planet, and it's associated with the taskmaster. Yeah, I could say that again. Anyway, the first thing I look at with this aspect is that when you have this conjunction, it could indicate that maybe the person may have had some difficulty with connected with their restrictions, their limitations, and dealing with it during their life. Maybe there was some issues perhaps with the father. Maybe it could indicate that there might be some vacillation between being very authoritative one moment and the next moment maybe apprehensive and reluctant to take on that leadership role. This could be maybe a person that if a father perhaps may have had some difficulties with that role, or maybe if a father was maybe a little bit more maybe domineering perhaps than what is necessary, maybe a little bit too controlling. Look at this this aspect, and a lot of this could depend on the house placement. Obviously, this would factor in. If somebody has, say, this conjunction in the third house, it could indicate somebody that maybe felt overwhelmed with responsibility. If they had things, if they have siblings, maybe in connection with that. Somebody that felt maybe compelled to keep the communications going with others. Say if this was in the fourth house, the person might felt maybe some inordinate responsibility associated with, say, with their home, with their family. Maybe this is a person that, for example, might have had to take care of a parent that was debilitated or sickly, and felt responsibility with this, or maybe had difficulty in dealing with the responsibility as far as this goes. But look at this place, and this could be a person that can be somewhat intractable as far as maybe viewpoints go, more so in that first part of the person's life, because Saturn is connected with what it's very conservative and pragmatic. It could be the person that may have reluctance maybe toward I guess you could say, like, new technology, things that are innovative, that are new. There might be some apprehension associated with this, and a lot of what they emphasize in their first part of their life may be things that are connected with things that are very orthodox. The true and the tried is what maybe it would be emphasized at this time. And when they go, obviously, in the second part of the person's life, say sometime like age 30 and after, well, the North Node would be opposing Saturn. So obviously this is not great, and if that's adversarial, that could indicate that perhaps this person's, maybe their ambitions might, maybe they don't quite go along with their, what they feel that life's mission or purpose. It could be somebody that maybe their responsibilities maybe can be very demanding, and maybe this detracts from what they want to pursue in that second part of their life, what they want to emphasize or accentuate. It could indicate that maybe there might be difficulties perhaps with authority figures, or a father might cause, maybe this causes some problems in terms, or detraction or distraction, I should say, in terms of what they want, what they're aspiring to do with that North Node placement. So this is something where in that first half of that person's life, they might have, you could say, they could have their issues in terms, I guess you could say, with the responsibility role. They may feel that perhaps they need to be very conservative and orthodox, a very conventional outlook. This could be a person who maybe had felt that their restriction or limitations maybe had hurt them, and may have to some degree in terms of, I guess you could say, them maybe achieving their fulfillment, what they wanted to do in the earlier part of their lives. And this could be somebody that has a person that when they have this position, Saturn could also be kind of like the teacher as well, and this could be maybe the person, or like I look at Saturn kind of like I guess you could say it could be like the teacher, and the person that has this aspect may feel either very strongly compelled to be kind of like that teacher, not necessarily as a profession, but show others how to do maybe certain things. Or it could be somebody that just the antithesis or opposite, may be reluctant to maybe take on this kind of role, and maybe even reluctance to, whether it's leadership position, leadership by position, or through example, and whether this is due to maybe certain confidence issues with this or some other reason. That's how it goes. That's how I see it anyway. Well, anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for Saturn conjunct the South Node in a natal horoscope. And stay tuned next time, where I'll be dissertating and talking about Saturn sextile or trine the South Node in a natal chart. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone. Because a person astrologically is the sum of all their components in their natal chart, and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.